Weekly update for Friday, December 17th. Okay, and as promised last week, we have Wild Monsters Dance About, a collection of 21 short stories that will take you into author M.J. Sewell's unruly mind. These finely tuned tales jump through genres, concepts and characters, predicaments, adventures, and conundrums. And I'll vouch for that from the two that I read. And here we go. I don't think it's the first story. No, first story is Toasting Lester. It was a good one too. It's the Now. Maya ran her fingers across the temporary tattoo on her wrist. Will the real one hurt? Nicole brushed back her long blue hair. Oh my God, you are such a baby. Okay, yeah, a little, especially if you wanted to put it somewhere weird. Yeah, like on your... Jackson began, but was cut off. Stop, Jax, don't be gross, Nicole continued. No, I wouldn't advise getting it anywhere uncomfortable. Besides, you need to touch it anytime you want. Jax, don't go there. Jackson let out his boy-like giggle, confirming his constantly dirty mind. Maya squirmed in the padded restaurant booth. I suppose I like the idea, but it's so permanent. Sure, there's surgery that can reverse it, but it's basically forever. This is a big decision, guys. It just freaks me out. Caleb jumped into the conversation. Everything freaks you out, Maya. Don't you still use a laptop from the last century? You are so behind all the tech. He started talking in that weird voice he thought sounded like a typical old person. Back in my day, we used mouse pads and flip phones on the way to the schoolhouse. Yeah, walked 5 miles in the snow, Jackson added. They both laughed at Maya. Caleb finished, get with the times, Maya. Then he tuned out. Maya pointed to Caleb's tattoo. You guys don't even have the latest ones. You've got the older kind. Those are totally different. Jackson said, no, they're not. It's exactly the same. Look. He showed his flame tattoo, licking down his arm with the yin-yang symbol at the wrist. It's the same technique, and this one's like 8 months old. He pulled up his shirt to reveal the frowny face with the mysterious Fu Manchu mustache and beard. And this one's almost 2 years old, but they still use the same technology. They all waited for Jackson to finish his point, but he just sat there. Holy crap, Jackson, Maya shouted. Jackson's eyes looked far away until Maya snapped her fingers in front of his face. See, you just proved my point. Where were you just now? Sorry, it was just an ad for the new sushi place downtown. An ad for a restaurant just popped into your mind, even though you didn't even touch the Tat app. That just proves it. They're not as safe as they claim. Maya crossed her arms to punctuate her well-deserved point. Firstly, they don't even call them that anymore. Jackson's disdain dripped. They haven't for like 6 months. And secondly, the new app tats are totally safe. Plus, you only have to get one now. It's not like the 3 individual ones I have. New ones are every app in one place. Just press it and the menu is in your head. Maya continued her objection. What if I'm driving? Isn't it distracting? They used to be, Nicole explained calmly. The new rules say you can't drive for 14 days after you get it. Then you take the app distraction test. After that, you're hooked in, like all of us. I don't like the idea of something foreign being inside my head, said Maya. I know, like everyone has one, but it just seems creepy. The internet was supposed to be something we could use on a device. It's creepy, the idea of it streaming in my head. Nicole said, you are so dramatic. We are the device now, silly. People are the hub. Doesn't your dad have one? Nearly everyone I know does. I read that it might even be a law soon. How are you keeping in touch with your friends and family right now? Answer, you aren't Maya. Maya groaned. First of all, my dad got one a year after the divorce. The same month he got an earring, so that doesn't really count. Plus, wait, Caleb, what are you doing? What? Caleb's eyes came back into focus. I was listening to you. Jackson was just showing you his app tab. That was like 5 minutes ago. Were you watching that stupid show again? Pay attention, please. Caleb casually brushed his finger over his cross-shaped tattoo app, annoyed. I'm on season 5 with my show, but honestly, just now I was mind texting my mom back. Jesus, Maya, just do it already. Everyone's connected. You're the last person I know with no mind apps of any kind. And honestly, that's kind of why we don't hang out with you anymore. It takes forever just to talk and talk and talk about everything. I mean, I know what these guys are doing all the time before I even see them. Seriously, Maya, it's exhausting being with you sometimes. Jackson gave Caleb a high five for his good points. We all know your appointment is for tomorrow morning anyway, so why are we even talking about this? Maya looked at her friends trying to figure out another argument, but they were right. Even her mom had one of the new apps. Her tattoo app was a heart with Maya's name on it. She didn't want to tell them that because it would make her argument weaker. Nearly everyone was connected now. If you wanted to send a message, you just did it in your mind. If you wanted to send that inspiring picture with the great quote, you just thought it and whoosh, it was sent from one mind to another. Caleb had already disengaged and was probably back watching whatever episode he was on in season 5. Jackson was wearing his cool, practiced smile, looking right at her. Maya could tell that he was busy doing something else in his mind, probably in mind book, most likely stalking some high school girl. So, Maya, no more arguments? Nicole asked, fully focused on her friend. Well, thanks for paying attention while I contemplate the most important decision of my life, said Maya with a smile. Nicole laughed. No offense, Maya, but I also just bought 2 pairs of shoes while we were talking, and I did some stuff for work. That's the cool thing about this. The times we live in, it makes getting things done so much easier. I can have a conversation with you, listen to my playlists, and send off a report to my impatient boss all right now. And because I'm super awesome, I can also buy shoes and have a conversation at the same time. Now these dumbasses over here can probably only do 2 things at once. But this new process is made for smart people like you, Maya. Sure, there's the annoying advertising crap that pops up, but that's what makes it possible to have the procedure for free. It's not the future, Maya. It's the now. Nicole smiled again and flipped her blue hair. Come join us robots. They both laughed. Now who's being dramatic? I guess it doesn't make us robots, but somehow I'm afraid that, well, I guess I'll feel less human. Nicole just shook her head. Silly Maya. The next morning, Maya went to her appointment alone. She still had doubts. Then again, she had doubts about everything. Maya thought of a line from an old book, one they made her read in high school. Solitude sometimes is best society. Maya wondered if maybe that didn't apply anymore. She thought maybe the analogy was too obvious anyway, since it was from Paradise Lost. Her world would never be a paradise again. A new thought occurred to her. They say you can read books in your head 3 times faster. I bet I can read 5 books at once. Maya smiled at her own idea and walked into the building to keep her appointment. And no further comment. Wild Monsters Dance About by M.J. Sewell. Look for it by name on the internet or somewhere. inside your head if you're way up in 7G territory. And that'll do it for the weekly update this week. Hope we'll see you all again next week.